Fear is loud, but it is not wise. It screams worst-case scenarios and then pretends they're guaranteed. The Stoics would say, fear is just your imagination running without supervision. Before you believe it, pause and ask, is this a fact or just a story my mind is telling? That one question can shrink fear from a monster into a thought. You don't have to feel brave to act bravely. Stoics taught that courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move in the right direction even while afraid. Your heart can be racing, your hands shaking, and you can still send the message, take the step, have the hard conversation. Fear is a feeling. Courage is a choice. Most fear comes from trying to control what you never could. You fear what people will think, what the result will be, how the future will unfold. None of that is in your hands. What is in your hands is what you say, what you do, and how honestly you live. When you focus there, fear loses half its power. The Stoics would ask, what exactly are you afraid of? Not in a mocking way, but in a precise way. Write it down. Name it clearly. Vague fear is enormous. Specific fear is smaller. I'm scared becomes I'm afraid of being judged, or I'm afraid of failing once. You can work with something specific. You can't escape a fog. Seneca said, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Look back at your life. How many things terrified you, only to turn out much smaller than you expected, or never happen at all? Your fear is often a bad prophet. When it predicts disaster, ask, how many times have you been wrong before? That memory weakens its spell. Fear grows in silence. The more you hide it, the bigger it feels. Say it out loud to yourself or on paper. I'm afraid of this. The moment you observe fear instead of drowning in it, you become the watcher, not the victim. The Stoics trained themselves to notice thoughts and feelings instead of becoming them. You can do that too. Ask yourself, what would this fear turn me into if I obey it for 5 years? If you always listen to fear, where will you be? Physically, emotionally, financially, spiritually? Most of us would see a smaller life, with more regret and less self-respect. Let that picture hurt a little. Use that pain as fuel to act differently today. The Stoics practiced voluntary discomfort to shrink fear. They would occasionally sleep on the floor, wear simple clothes, eat basic food, and ask, is this what I feared? You can do small versions. Speak when you'd rather stay quiet, take a cold shower, post the work you're scared to share. Every time you survive, your brain learns, I can handle more than I thought. Fear says, what if I fail? Stoicism replies, what if you grow? Failure is not the end in Stoic thinking. It is raw material for wisdom. You try, you fall, you learn, you adjust. The only real failure is never acting because you were afraid of discomfort. The cost of safety is often your own potential. Remember that people you admire were once terrified too. Marcus Aurelius doubted himself. Epictetus suffered pain and uncertainty. Every strong person you see today walked through fear yesterday. You are not broken because you feel afraid. You're simply standing at the doorway where courage is built. Try this Stoic exercise. Imagine the worst realistic outcome of what you fear. Not the end of the world version, but the actual, likely worst case. Could you survive it? Could you recover? Could you learn from it? Most of the time, the honest answer is yes. Once you know you can survive, fear has less leverage. Fear often hides behind perfectionism. I'm just not ready yet usually means I'm scared to look imperfect. The Stoics didn't wait to become flawless before they acted. They acted in order to become better. Take imperfect action. Speak with a shaking voice. Publish the rough draft. You grow stronger in motion, not in endless preparation. Your body responds to fear like you're in physical danger, even when you're just sending an email or taking a test. Notice the symptoms: fast heart, sweaty hands, tight chest, and quietly say, "My body is trying to protect me. Thank you, but I'm safe." Breathe slowly. Let the wave pass. You don't have to run every time your nervous system rings the alarm. On the battlefield of the mind, the tension is your weapon. Where you look, your emotions follow. If you focus only on risk, you'll feel only fear. If you also look at opportunity, growth, and what this action could unlock, you'll feel more balanced. Stoic training is not pretending danger doesn't exist. It's choosing a wider, truer picture. Not all fear should be erased. Some fear is a signal. Slow down, prepare, respect the danger. The Stoic goal is not to be reckless, but to be rational. Ask, is this fear wise or exaggerated? Wise fear leads to planning and care. Exaggerated fear leads to paralysis. Learn to listen to one and gently ignore the other. One way to dominate fear is to place it next to something bigger. Fear of discomfort becomes small next to your desire to protect your family. Fear of embarrassment becomes small next to your desire to live honestly. The Stoics tied their actions to their highest values: virtue, justice, courage, wisdom. When your why is clear, many fears look tiny. Talk to yourself like a Stoic mentor would. When you're afraid, don't say, "I can't do this." Say, "This is hard, and I can grow through it." Don't say, "I'm weak." Say, "I'm training." The inner voice you use becomes the climate you live in. Make it firm, but kind. Demanding, but hopeful. Fear loves isolation. It tells you no one else feels this way. You're the only one struggling. That's a lie. Every human mind wrestles with fear. Share your fear with someone you trust, or with a page in your journal. Stoics wrote to themselves constantly for this reason. It's easier to face a beast you've drawn on paper than one hiding in the dark. Each time you face a fear, mark it down. Literally, keep a courage log. The job you applied for, the conversation you had, the boundary you set, the step you took. On days when fear feels huge again, read your own record. Evidence changes emotion. You'll see in black and white, "I have done hard things before. I can do them again." In the end, Stoicism doesn't promise a life without fear, but a life where fear no longer rules you. You will still feel it, but you'll also feel something stronger: self-respect. Every time you act with courage, you cast a vote for the person you want to become. Over time, those votes add up. Fear may still knock on your door, but it will no longer decide where you live, who you love, and what you dare to do with your one short life.